Dancehall once exploded out of Jamaica, shaking clubs from Brooklyn to Tokyo with raw bass and street-born rhythm. At the center of that global sound stands Beenie Man, a name synonymous with energy, influence, and cultural reach. Yet far from flashing lights and festival stages, his world begins in a quiet Kingston home, where the noise fades and roots remain. More than the king of dancehall, he is a living symbol of how local culture can conquer the globe. And that journey didn't start with fame. It started with a child prodigy, a microphone, and a very early road into music. Born Moses Anthony Davis on August 22, 1973 in Kingston, Beenie Man didn't grow into dancehall. He was raised inside it. By age 5, he was already rapping, absorbing rhythm the way most kids absorb language. His uncle, Sidney Knowles, a drummer for Jimmy Cliff, recognized the spark early and pushed him toward microphones instead of sidelines. In 1981, Beenie Man won the Tasty Talent competition, a defining moment that turned local buzz into real momentum. Radio DJ Barry G then introduced him to Kingston's sound system circuit, the unforgiving proving ground where reputations are earned live, not manufactured. At just 10 years old, he released his debut album, The Invincible Beenie Man, the 10-year-old DJ Wonder, 1983. In American terms, it was like a child rapper dropping a credible street record and being taken seriously. Then came an unusual pause. Beenie Man stepped back to finish school and travel through the United States, England, and Canada, studying scenes, sharpening cadence, and learning discipline. When he returned, he wasn't a novelty anymore. He was dangerous. Throughout the early 90s, he trained alongside dancehall heavyweights like Admiral Bailey, Ninja Man, and Shabba Ranks, recording at shocking vibes and building a catalog that felt both raw and controlled. His 1992 Reggae Sunsplash performance marked his arrival as a major force. Around the same time, a rivalry ignited with Bounty Killer, a clash that mirrored classic hip-hop beefs in the U.S. The feud elevated both artists and ultimately resolved with the collaborative album Guns Out, 1994, proving Beenie Man could dominate competition and outgrow it. What followed was a relentless run. Blessed, 1995, climbed the Billboard Top Reggae Albums chart. Maestro, 1996, hit number 3. Then Many Moods of Moses, 1997, went number 1. One, powered by Who Am I, Sim Simma, a record that crossed borders, landing on US rap charts and the UK Top 10. For American listeners, it was the moment dancehall stopped being foreign and started being essential. By the late 90s and early 2000s, Beenie Man was everywhere. The Doctor, Y2K, and the Grammy-winning Art and Life, 2000. Girls Dem Sugar with Mia fused pop polish with Kingston grit. Tropical Storm, 2002, pushed further, breaking into Billboard's R&B hip-hop albums and the Billboard 200, while Feel It Boy with Janet Jackson became a global hit. Albums like Back to Basics and Undisputed reaffirmed his crown, even as he continued releasing singles and collaborating across genres with artists from Busta Rhymes to Nicki Minaj and Rihanna. By 2025, his lyrics even appeared as a clue on Jeopardy! A quiet reminder that what started on Kingston streets had become American trivia. And after all that movement, all that noise, Beenie Man still comes home. Which brings us to the Kingston House, the place where a global sound finally goes quiet. House in Kingston, Jamaica. In the heart of Kingston, far from beachfront resorts and celebrity compounds, Beenie Man lives exactly where his music was born. Not hidden away in the hills. His home sits comfortably in the city, grounded, lived in, and quietly confident, much like the man himself. Step through the solid wooden front door, and the first thing you notice is warmth. Not luxury for show, but comfort by design. High ceilings allow air and light to move freely, while rich Jotoba wood floors add a subtle elegance that feels Caribbean rather than imported. This isn't a house built to impress visitors for 5 minutes. It's built to work every day. One detail matters more than most. There is no upper floor. Everything unfolds on a single level. In a culture where extended family matters and children move freely, this design choice speaks volumes. No stairs, no hierarchy of space, just flow. Bedrooms are placed in separate wings, offering privacy without isolation, perfect for a household that blends family life with constant visitors from the music world. The heart of the home opens toward the pool area, and this is where Beenie Man's lifestyle quietly reveals itself. The pool isn't oversized or dramatic, but it's social. A bar sits nearby, along with a hot tub and multiple seating zones designed for conversation rather than posing. This is where artists gather after sessions, where laughter replaces lyrics, and where deals are talked through without contracts on the table. It feels less like a luxury feature and more like a continuation of Kingston's street culture, just cleaner, calmer, and controlled. Inside, the chef's kitchen is fully equipped, practical, and clearly used. An integrated ice maker and wine cooler hint at hosting, but nothing here screams excess. Separate staff accommodations reflect Jamaican norms, not celebrity indulgence. The home also includes essentials that matter on the island: a water tank, a backup generator, and secure underground parking. These aren't perks, they're survival tools, chosen by someone who understands real life beyond headlines. The garage fits up to 4 vehicles, reinforcing that this is a working household, not a museum. Music never stops here. People come and go. Life moves. In many ways, this Kingston house explains Beenie Man better than any interview. He didn't leave the street. He refined it. He didn't abandon the people. He built comfort within reach of them. This isn't the home of a pop star chasing status. And living like this, rooted, practical, and intentional, also explains how his money moves. Income and net worth. With an estimated net worth of around $5 million, Beenie Man represents a rare kind of longevity in music. This isn't fast money or viral wealth. It's the slow, durable income of an artist who has stayed relevant across nearly 5 decades. The foundation of his earnings remains music itself. Across 18 studio albums, including the Grammy-winning Art and Life, 2000, Beenie Man built a catalog that continues to generate royalties. Songs like Who Am I, Sim Sima, Girls Dem Sugar, and King of the Dancehall never truly left rotation. On modern platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, these tracks now pay a second life dividend, proof that cultural impact ages better than trends. Live performance is another major pillar. Dancehall is not a passive genre. It's built for crowds. Beenie Man remains a high-demand live act, headlining festivals such as Reggae Sumfest and touring internationally. Ticket sales, appearance fees, and merchandise form a substantial portion of his annual income. Then there's passive income through collaborations. Over the years, Beenie Man has lent his voice to records by Janet Jackson, Rihanna, Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, Akon, and others. These collaborations generate upfront payments and long-tail royalties, embedding his voice into pop, hip-hop, and R&B catalogs far beyond dancehall alone. Beyond music, Beenie Man has also diversified carefully. His ownership of Sima Seafood and Lounge in Jamaica reflects a grounded approach to business, local, cultural, and connected to community rather than celebrity branding. It's not an empire, but it's stable, aligned with his identity, and built to last. Beenie Man didn't chase excess or reinvention at every turn. He invested in catalog, live performance, and cultural relevance, assets that keep paying long after radio moves on. And with that stability comes the ability to give back, quietly and locally, in ways that matter most. Philanthropy. Through the Beenie Man Foundation, his philanthropy stays focused, practical, and deeply rooted in Jamaican reality. The foundation concentrates on education, youth mentoring, entrepreneurship, healthcare, and community development, targeting people who rarely benefit from large international charities. One of his most visible efforts has been disaster relief. After Hurricane Melissa in late 2025, Beenie Man mobilized the foundation's crisis rescue team, delivering emergency supplies to rural communities devastated by floods and landslides. Aid reached families who lost homes, hospitals operating under strain, and areas often overlooked once headlines fade. Rather than acting alone, he coordinated public fundraising efforts and encouraged national participation through government-affiliated platforms like japromise.org and supportjamaica.gov.jm, reinforcing the idea that recovery is collective work. Healthcare has been another priority. Through his rescue team, Beenie Man made significant donations to St. Elizabeth Hospital and Mandeville Hospital, supplying urgently needed medical equipment and materials. Hospital staff publicly expressed gratitude, not because the donations were flashy, but because they arrived when resources were critically low. His philanthropy has also crossed borders. In 2021, the Beenie Man Foundation partnered with Human Rights Watch-affiliated networks to send medical supplies to Haiti, responding to the country's ongoing humanitarian crises. The move reflected an understanding common in the Caribbean. Disaster doesn't stop at national borders, and neither should compassion. Perhaps the most personal project is the Solomon and Leliath Community Center in Waterhouse, Jamaica, funded and inaugurated by Beenie Man himself. Named after his late mother and grandfather, the center serves as a hub for community programs, youth support, and local development. It's not branded as a monument to fame. It's a working space, built for daily use. In many ways, Beenie Man's philanthropy mirrors his home and his music, grounded, functional, and loyal to where he came from. He didn't leave the yard behind once success arrived. And that same loyalty, to family, to roots, to lived experience, also defines his private life. Personal life. In August 2006, he married dancehall singer Michelle D'Angel Downer, a union that briefly symbolized power couple energy within Jamaica's music scene. But the marriage fractured quickly. By June 2007, the two had separated, long before the paperwork caught up. In a moment that perfectly captured the contradictions of fame, they even released a duet, "You Are My First," in 2010, while already living apart. Divorce proceedings began in 2011 and quietly concluded in 2019, closing a chapter marked by public attention and private strain. Legal trouble has occasionally followed. On January 1st, 2021, Beenie Man was charged under Jamaica's Disaster Risk Management Act and Noise Reduction Act after hosting an event that violated COVID-19 restrictions. For an artist whose career was built on crowd energy and sound system culture, the incident reflected a deeper tension. Dancehall's DNA often clashes with regulation, authority, and silence. But the most enduring controversies around Beenie Man have been cultural, not legal. For years, some of his lyrics were criticized internationally for promoting violence against gay people. The backlash peaked in the mid-2000s, when protests by LGBTQ+ groups led to concert cancellations and his disqualification from the 2004 MTV Video Music Awards. That same year, a planned UK concert was cancelled, and he was temporarily detained by police at Heathrow Airport. Facing mounting pressure, Beenie Man issued a public apology through his record label and later agreed not to perform songs containing homophobic lyrics. By 2005, activist group Outrage suspended protests after Beenie Man honored that commitment during a London performance. A year later, he claimed his controversial lyrics were aimed at pedophilia, not consensual same-sex relationships, an explanation that failed to fully quiet critics. In 2007, reports surfaced that he had signed the Reggae Compassion Act, an industry agreement to stop performing anti-gay content. Beenie Man later denied signing it, and protests continued into the 2010s, leading to cancelled shows in countries such as New Zealand, Belgium, and the Netherlands. Even within dancehall itself, the crown has been contested. Veteran DJ Yellowman, long known as King Yellowman, publicly challenged Beenie Man's self-proclaimed title of King of the Dancehall in 2006, accusing him of rewriting history and disrespecting elders. The clash wasn't just personal, it reflected a broader cultural debate about legacy, seniority, and who gets to define greatness. Through marriages, legal battles, protests, and rivalries, Beenie Man survived where many didn't. He adapted, retreated when necessary, and returned when possible. The fire never fully left, but neither did the man. Beenie Man never needed a Hollywood mansion to prove his success. His home reflects his philosophy: stay grounded, stay close, stay real. If you enjoyed this story, like, subscribe, and comment below. And here's a question for you. If your music changed the world, would you still live where it all began? See you in the next videos. Goodbye.